about the greatest generation, the largest Allied operation of World War II. Well, it's coming to a 5-story domed screen near you. D-Day, Normandy 1944 is set to show on the Omnimax screen of the Cincinnati Museum Center. And writer, producer, and director Pascal Vuong joins us live to talk about his film. Pascal, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
Arrived from Paris last night.
Yes.
This is a heck of a first stop for you to come in here.
You know, it's my first time in Cincinnati, so I'm very happy to be here.
Well, we're thrilled that you'd take some time with us this morning. We were talking about what it must be like to work on something that you know is going to be projected on such a huge screen. What kind of challenge was that for you?
Yeah, it's the frames are so big. It's special framing and special editing work, special writing.
Yeah.
Because when you have to talk about that kind of event on only 43 minutes.
Yeah.
So you have to know many things and to shorten them. To have the whole picture,
right? To
give the big picture in only 43 minutes.
It's funny to have to think about trying to squeeze something into such a big space.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's sort of an interesting, dynamic there. Well, what about some of the footage, some of the archives that you had to go through to find pieces and find segments for your film? That must have been an eye-opener.
You know, because it's not the first film about D-Day and the Battle of Normandy, so I had to find my own way to tell this story, a new way, and a way to explain this to a young generation, to family audiences and young generation. That's why there are so many maps and so many animation, very old animation technique like sand animation.
Yeah.
You know, it's a technique, a very old technique, consisting in moving each grain of sand, frame by frame, with brushes or the fingers.
Yeah.
And then you can create some magic.
And we're seeing part of the trailer right now, so people get a little taste of what they'll see when they go down to the Museum Center. But why do you think it's so important? You mentioned sort of making sure this story does get passed along to future generations. Why is that so important?
It was only 70 years ago, you know.
Yeah.
So it's not so ancient.
Yeah.
It's not a very old story. And our families in France, but your families in the United States knew that for real. They were involved. And it's important, I think, it's important today because we are celebrating the end of World War II this year. It's important to show to the young generation that it was their grandparents knew that for real, and they suffered from war and to give us back our liberty. So thank you, American. By the way.
Yeah. My grandfather was not at Normandy, but he fought in the Second World War.
Of course, yes. So many people were involved in World War II.
And that's part of it to pass along is the scale. And they're telling me we do have to move along right now, unfortunately. But tell me about the clickers. It's really quickly.
That's a special thing used by the paratroopers, American paratroopers, when they jumped on Normandy the night before D-Day.
They could still communicate.
They had to find themselves in the night.
Wow.
And of course, there were many Germans everywhere. So they had to find themselves. And to,
And it sounds like you can get these if you go down to the Omnimax.
To one click, you were supposed to answer by 2 clicks.
2 clicks. Pascal, thank you for coming in. I know it's been a busy night, busy 24 hours for you. Again, the film down at the Museum Center. They've got the big Armed Forces Weekend, May 15th, 16th. We'll be right back.